Hello and welcome back to Firestorm Games, where we're taking another look at some of the new Sylvaneth releases, and this time we're turning our attention to the Drycha Hamadreth. And on the front of the box here you can see the miniature that we've got all assembled and painted up, and flipping this over you can see some close-up detailing of the various arms and weapon options you get in here. You also get this little chart at the bottom which gives you a rough idea as to how to paint this miniature. So that's the outside of the box. Let's open this up and take a look at the contents inside. So inside the box, first of all, we get this large oval base in which to mount the Hamadreth onto. We also get the instruction booklet, which is a full colour guide, and it gives you really clear instructions on how to assemble your miniature. All of the components are individually numbered as they are on the sprues, which makes finding them that much easier. All of these diagrams are really nice and clear as well, explaining exactly which pieces go where, and also how to assemble some of the optional extras. This brings us to the final page, which on the left here we get some ideas as to how to paint the individual components, and also the actual rules for using the Hamadreth in your games of Age of Sigmar. So this brings us to the final sprue. Now this is actually a single sprue that's been broken down into 3 sections, and I'll be looking at each of these sections individually. So the first sprue that we have here has some excellent examples of the honeycombing, which is featured across the entirety of the miniature. You can see it here, these little kind of small hexagonal shapes indented into the actual miniature itself. Now this is to house the various insects that are crawling along this miniature. You can see some small examples there, but you can also see some of the larger, I think these are called squirmlings, and these are quite fearsome looking termite creatures, when you've got a few more over there as well. The miniature itself is absolutely full of these kind of these insects. You can see them there with some on one of the other sprues. But what I particularly like is the tree stylings that we've got here. You can see the wood and bark effect. We've got these branches and also the leaves there. And this continues onto the next sprue. So here we have more examples of the honeycombing, as you can see on this panel here. We also have more tree-like growths. So you can see here we've got these thorns on the end of these vines that you obviously use for whipping. And we actually have the face there. You can see the rather fearsome, almost vampiric in its effects, kind of a bit like a Medusa head actually, these branches emanating from around the head. And you can see all the nice detailings that we've got occurring across the body. Very, very meticulous attention to detail here as well. This brings us to the final sprue, which again features even more insects. And you see these swarms of flitter furies here. We've got absolutely loads of them, all these individual little winged creatures, and these emanate from the arms, as we'll see on the assembled miniature. And you can see here we've got more of the fearsome weapons that this Hamadreth is equipped with. We've got this rather fearsome looking claw there, these large spines, almost insect-like as well, kind of a nice mixture between tree and insect. And we've got more individual little bugs that you can place across the miniature. So that's all of the individual components. Let's get this assembled and take a look at the finished piece. And here you can see an example of the assembled Drycha Hamadreth. With some very clear instructions and components that were numbered on the sprue, assembling this miniature was extremely easy. Even with some extremely intricate parts, the components fitted together perfectly, and there's very little in the way of mould lines to actually remove. As I've already pointed out, the detailing in this miniature is superb, and I really like the aesthetics of the miniature. However, the one area that is let down is the lack of customization options. The pose the miniature is in is pretty much the only one you can choose from, unless you're willing to do some small conversion work. With the single choice for a head and the lack of optional extras, fielding more than one of these miniatures in the same army would look very samey. But even so, this still is an excellent looking miniature and would form a perfect centerpiece to any Age of Sigmar Sylvaneth force. So with the assembled miniature looked at, let's get an overall summary for this kit. So that concludes our look at the Drycha Hamadreth. Overall, a really nice miniature to look at, even if it is a little bit lacking in its variants. The poses that you get are pretty much what you see here. It is an unfortunate side effect of these new Age of Sigmar kits. While they're really nice and detailed, you do start losing out on the customizability of them. However, apart from that, the detailing is fantastic. I really like the aesthetics as well. This whole Sylvaneth theme really is ticking my boxes. Now the RRP of this miniature is £35, but if you would like to pick one up for a little bit cheaper, you can do so by heading on over to the Firestorm Games web store, where you can find one for £31.50, and I'll pop a link there in the description below. If you're enjoying these videos, do let us know in the comments below, and also subscribe to be kept up to date with all our future videos. So until next time, thanks for watching, and goodbye.